Latest update on China's sales report. These are the best-selling cars in China this year for the first 6 months of the year. Very interesting to see what models they are. EVs are dominating, of course. And EV sales will only increase after the news today. Beijing is banning non-EVs from ride-hailing, taxi fleets, Uber, all that kind of stuff. You don't have an EV, you're banned. It's also very hard to get a registration plate for a non-electric car. So EV sales in China are skyrocketing. Some brands are benefiting, other brands are not. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. Sam Evans here. You're watching the Electric Viking. The sales for the first 6 months of this year. The best-selling car in China was the Geely Xingyuan, 205,000 deliveries. That's a fully electric car, a little bit bigger than a BYD Seagull, a little bit smaller than a BYD Dolphin. And it's the best-selling car in China. Year-on-year change, it hasn't changed. It's a new model from Geely. It's been an enormous success. The most successful car I know of that Geely have ever had. Well done to them. BYD Seagull was in second place with an increase of 4.2% versus the first 6 months of last year, 175,000 deliveries. The Wuling Hongwan Mini EV starts at $5,000 US. It's the cheapest decent electric car you can, or pretty good, I think, electric car you can buy in China. They sold 171,000 for the first 6 months of the year, an increase of 105% versus last year. BYD's Qin Plus, 163,600 deliveries, down 32%. I should point out, most of those sales are plug-in hybrids. The Volkswagen Levita, that's the first internal combustion car on this list, and it's in 5th place. The Levita used to be the best-selling car in China a few years ago, so the Nissan Sylphy, which was in 6th place, but as you can see, that is no longer the case. 136,000 sales for the Volkswagen Levita. Nissan Sylphy. The Sylphy was, in my opinion, a bucket of junk, but it was a best-selling car in China for several years. As you can see, it's no longer the case, not even close. Nissan delivered 136,000 of the Sylphy. They used to sell literally like 600,000 a year. Crazy. Even 1 million one year they sold of them. Crazy numbers. Down 15.5% from the first 6 months of last year. And that's the trend for Nissan in China for pretty much all their models. BYD's Qin L up 635% with a total of 135,000 sales. Next is the BYD Seal 06 EV. 1,150% increase in sales to 95,800. Geely Xingyuan, 91,500, up 16%. And finally, the Geely Panda, 84.4% year-on-year change with 91,000 sales. Now, looking at this list, about half of them are small EVs. Yeah, really only 2 models on this list are purely internal combustion, the Volkswagen Levita and the Nissan Sylphy. They're both very cheap, but those are the only 2 on this list that are just internal combustion alone. So that's the cheap segment, guys. That's the $14,000 US segment, the affordable range segment. Now, looking at the segment that Tesla competes in, the sales are interesting. Tesla does have the second or third best-selling car in China this year, depending on how you actually do the numbers. 171,500 sales of the Model Y. It was the best-selling car in the mid to premium segment, and sales though were down 17.5% to compared to last year. Numbers are under, but that said, the new Model Y hasn't been out for that long. There is a new version of the Model Y with 600 kilometers of range, and also the new Model Y L is coming out. That'll help. However, the Xiaomi SU7, its sales grew by 419% to 156,000. Really good deliveries for Tesla and Xiaomi, who beat Toyota and their Camry and Toyota and the RAV4. Now, guys, China is electrifying very quickly, and this year, 53%, or in the past few months, 53% of all cars sold in China were either fully electric or plug-in hybrids. What is predicted to happen is by the end of this year, 35% of all cars sold in China will fully electric. 35% just be EVs. In 2026, that number will hit 45%, and that'll be around 70% of all cars will be plug-ins, plug-in hybrids, EREVs, and EVs, but 45% fully electric. By 2028, it'll be 65% fully electric, and 90% of all cars sold will be some form of EREV or plug-in hybrid. By 2030, sales will be 100%, ICE will be gone from China. And I've said this a few times now, I believe that's likely. And we'll see probably about 70% of all cars will be sold will be fully electric. So that's going to be the world's biggest car market, 32 million cars sold per year. Now looking at just June, the best-selling cars in the month of June were the BYD Song, 46,700 deliveries, down 11%. Tesla Model Y up 9% to 44,850 cars sold. Second best-selling car in China. Third best was the Geely Xingyuan with 41,000 deliveries. Phenomenal numbers still from Geely. Fourth, BYD Qin Plus, down 1% to 38,600. BYD Qin L was next, up 74% to 31,000 deliveries. BYD Seagull was in sixth place, so you can see 3 BYDs in a row here. Seagull, 30,700 deliveries, down 13%. The Wuling Mini EV was in seventh place, up 156% to pretty good sales here, 26,000. In eighth and ninth place were the Volkswagen Levita, up 4%, the Nissan Sylphy down 4%, and the Xiaomi SU7 plus 63%. So those were the 10 best-selling cars in China in the month of June. It shows you the trends here. Like I said, 2 of them are internal combustion, the rest of them are electric. But looking at the top-selling electric vehicles in China, not the plug-in hybrids, just the top-selling EVs, the Model Y was the best-selling electric car in China. It just beat the Geely Geome Xingyuan. Model Y, 44,850 deliveries. The Geely Geome Xingyuan, 40,900. So good job there from Geely and Tesla. BYD is next with the Seagull with 30,708 deliveries, followed by the Wuling Hongwan Mini EV, so 2 budget small EVs next to each other, 26,000 for the Wuling. Xiaomi SU7, 23,000. The BYD Dolphin, 18,000. The Tesla Model 3 next at 16,600, followed by the BYD UN Up, called the BYD Atto 2, soon in international markets, 15,000. Leapmotor B10, 14,000. The Xpeng or Xiaopeng Mona M03, 14,000. The Geely Panda Mini, 13,471. Now, I should mention I also missed the BYD Qin Plus, which was just before the Geely Panda Mini with 13,600 deliveries. Next was the BYD C-Line 05 with 12,938. If you include the plug-in hybrids of that car, C-Line 05 sold a total of 17,000. So those are the most popular EVs in the month of June in China. Looking at the whole year so far, though, the most popular EVs in China, like I said before earlier, the Geely Geome Xingyuan is well and truly in first place with 205,000 deliveries, followed by the BYD Seagull in second, Tesla Model Y in third, the Wuling Hongwan Mini EV in fourth, the Xiaomi SU7 in fifth, the Tesla Model 3 in sixth, the Geely Panda Mini in seventh, the Xpeng Mona M03 in eighth, Wuling Bingo ninth, BYD UN Plus Atto 2 in 10th, and then the Chang'an Lumen, which is sort of a similar car to the BYD Seagull, but I think it looks a bit nicer. That was next up, followed by the BYD Atto 2. Those are the best-selling EVs in China. And yeah, I mean, I think Tesla's still doing pretty well, which is kind of surprising when you consider the technology they're up against. But most of these cars are more affordable cars. The Model Y is actually very expensive in comparison to the Geely Geome Xingyuan in first place, the Seagull in second. The Model Y is much more expensive than those cars. In fact, the Model Y is expensive in its segment, period. The Wuling Hongwan Mini EV as well. You can see 3 cheap EVs there, right? First, second, and fourth. Geely Geome Xingyuan, BYD Seagull, Wuling Hongwan Mini, all of them priced under $10,000 US. Xiaomi SU7, that obviously does compete with Tesla. It's a little bit more expensive. But then Model 3, that's expensive. Panda Mini, affordable. Xpeng Mona, affordable. Wuling Bingo, affordable. BYD Atto 2, affordable. Chang'an Lumen, affordable. BYD UN Up, affordable. So most of the cars in this list, most EVs in this list, are probably there because they're good enough, and very well priced. Whereas the Tesla Model Y, Model 3, and the Xiaomi SU7 are really the only premium vehicles in this list that are selling in massive numbers. So that's the year so far for the first 6 months in China. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Bye-bye.